It's Christmas. A time to gather together and raise a glass in celebration and goodwill. This year I've enjoyed the enviable task of selecting my top wines and spirits for the festive table. To help me with my food and wine matching skills, I caught up with 2-star Michelin chef Michel Roux Jr., author of Matching Food and Wine, and asked him, what would he be drinking this Yuletide? So we're here at Le Gavroche in London with Michel Roux Jr., scion of the Roux dynasty. Michel, Christmas food and wine, what will you be cooking this year?
This year for Christmas Day, it'll definitely be a turkey. A beautiful turkey, perfectly roasted, but with all the trimmings. Now, the English trimmings, so little chipolatas, some bacon, Brussels sprouts, of course, and bread sauce.
Oh, right, so quite simple, quite traditional.
Oh, yes.
What are the top, sort of your top 3 tips? Now we have you with us.
Well, I would say my first tip, if you're preparing yourself, you're in the kitchen preparing Christmas lunch, would be to stay off the drink.
Yeah.
Until the food has actually reached the table. If you don't want a disaster, don't be tempted. Just wait a bit.
So just have a sort of Virgin Mary or an orange juice or something like that.
Keep really sober until otherwise. Otherwise you might spoil the whole event, which would be a great shame. But hang on in there for that little glass of champagne.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I've done my sort of top recommendations to go with Christmas. I think because it's such a sort of gastronomic marathon, on the day you don't want to overwhelm the palate. So I don't know if you agree with that. I love the sort of classic wines of Europe, and our first wine I thought would be a Riesling from the Moselle Valley. I thought we'd pour that. I mean, what's your sort of favourite wines to serve on the day itself, to go with turkey, I suppose?
I mean, I would tend to agree that you don't want something really too rich and heavy, because in my household at least, we're going to have an aperitif, 1 white, maybe 2 whites, followed by a red, and then possibly by a sweet wine or maybe a port with the cheese. You don't want to overload. You don't want too much sensory overload. So something light and refreshing is definitely the way to go.
And the key point is to get a wine that doesn't scream, look at me, but actually complements the food.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Yes, I agree.
So on here you get the wonderful, delicate, floral characteristics. But what I do like about the Rieslings from the Moselle is they have that acidity at the back, the minerality, and the dryness. So it means they're quite.
My word, that's very refreshing.
Quite versatile, aren't they? Yeah, and it gives everyone a lift, and it sort of lifts the mood.
Very much so. I mean, that's wonderful. Yes, I could definitely sit down to Christmas lunch with my starter of maybe a blinis and smoked salmon, maybe a little spoonful of caviar on top of that as well. Or maybe some langoustine or some lobster. You see, my mind is going.
It's a privilege coming to your house for Christmas. Now, for the turkey itself, I know it's sort of custom that you serve a Pinot Noir or maybe a Burgundy, even a Cru Beaujolais. But I always like to serve a claret, because I think with a claret such as this, Roc de Com, you can then take it through to the cheese course, because claret Red Bordeaux is one of the few wines that actually goes with English cheddar. Do you agree with that, or is that quite?
Yes, I mean, my choice would be with turkey, a Pinot, most definitely. But a good claret, not too rich.
Yes.
I think could go very well. Yeah. And then you're right. I think that claret is one of those wines that you can serve with cheese. I mean, cheese is notoriously difficult to find the right match with wine. So I think claret is one of those wines that can probably go through with most cheeses.
Yeah, because it has that refreshing minerality that you get in. Actually, you could serve this with some cheese as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, most definitely.
Well, thank you very much. Happy Christmas.
And to you. Cheers.
Cheers.